Hello, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Ron. This might be one of the quickest videos I've ever done. I had the whole thing scripted out and ready to go, spent hours working it up, and somewhere the file got deleted. So we're just gonna wing it. Hope you guys appreciate this. My wife doesn't like it when I talk too much anyway, so this could be short and to the point. So recently DJI has released a ton of new products, and one of the most recent was just announced the other day. It was the DJI Ronin 4D camera. Then we've got the DJI Action 2, which is what we're going to talk about today, is scheduled for release on October 27th, just next week. And then right behind that, we're going to have the Mavic 3 being released. So there was a ton of, like I said, announcements that were coming out this month. And we're just going to go through what the specs are, or what we expect based on all the rumored information that's out there. There's a ton of rumors, and I'm going to be 99.99% confident based on there's so much information out there that we can be almost absolutely certain that this is going to be the final product that we actually see. Now, price I can't guarantee. Price seems to be a little bit of the unknown. I have seen pricing ranging anywhere for the DJI Action 2, anywhere from $510 US to a bit more, depending on the package. From what it appears, there's going to be different bundles or packaging available depending on where you're at. The price could vary. But walking through this, I got a bunch of pictures. I'm just going to kind of throw some of these up there for you. They're out there to be found on the web if you search hard enough. And like I said, I lost a lot of the files, but real quick, the Action 2, what's in the box? You're going to get the Action 2 camera unit itself. You're going to get a power module, a magnetic lanyard, a magnetic adapter mount, and a power cable. And again, this is going to vary depending on the box that you pick up at a retail store, pick up DJI's website. It's going to be, this Action 2 camera is going to be a lot like the, what was it? The Insta360 ONE-R. It's going to be a modular type camera. There is a ton of information out there. I do want to give credit to a couple of the folks that had leaked this information. One of them was Conrad_IT on Twitter, and the other Twitter account was @DealsDrone. So I just want to give them a quick shout out. So going through, like I said, I'm going to keep posting some pictures up here. You can see the modular setup, and there's going to be a bunch of different options available. Okay, so jumping through the specs of the DJI Action 2, you're going to get 4K at 120 frames per second, but that's not quite as good as what you're going to get with the GoPro 10 Black, which I actually did buy myself just about a month ago. On the GoPro 10 Black, you're going to get 5K at 60 frames per second. So that's your max video resolution. Again, versus DJI Action 2 camera, it's going to be 4K at 120 frames per second. So the GoPro 10 does win out, but you're going to get a ton of other video resolutions and frame rates. I'm going to post those up on the screen for you as well. I'm not going to go through all of them because they'll just probably bore everybody. But they are there if you want to stop the video and go through all the particulars. You're also going to get 155 degrees super wide field of view. So the field of view on this camera, from everything I'm seeing, is actually going to be better than what's on the GoPro 10. On the GoPro 10, you're going to get 132 degree field of view. Potentially you could get 155 degree with a max lens mod. But again, that's an additional option on the GoPro 10. Stay tuned toward the end of this video because I'm actually going to do a side-by-side comparison. You're going to quickly see what the DJI Action 2 camera has versus the GoPro 10 Black, because I think a lot of you, like myself, are going to be most interested in, if you haven't bought the 10 already, do I buy the 10 or do I buy this new DJI camera? So if you haven't bought the 10 yet, I would sit tight till next week and see where we're at as far as pricing and as far as actual video resolution. And there's an issue that I want to address too, with the stabilization. Now you're also going to have on the Action 2 something called Horizon Steady or Rocksteady. I think it's going to be like Rocksteady 2.0, which is a new version of stabilization for this camera, versus the GoPro 10 is going to have the Hypersmooth 4.0. So we don't know what this new stabilization is going to look like until it's actually out there in the market and people have a chance to test it. But just know it does have stabilization built into it. And I'm going to be most interested in how it handles FPV footage. I'm actually going to be running, or actually do run, all my stabilization, my footage through a third-party software. After I record everything with the GoPro 10, I run it through RealSteady Go. So I'm going to be real interested to see how this new stabilization software compares to RealSteady Go, specifically for FPV, because that's mainly what I'm using my action camera for. They also make a note here, this is all-terrain action camera, drop-proof, dust-proof, waterproof, up to 10 meters. Drop-proof remains to be seen. You'll be seeing some crashes out there with the FPV community, I'm sure, and some other folks testing out just how rugged this thing actually is. As far as the waterproofing, very comparable to what the GoPro 10 actually does today. So that's kind of going to be the same or very similar for both. Again, when you start digging into the specs, there are some small differences depending on how the camera is, the mods are set up. You have a time-lapse option with the DJI Action 2. You're going to have, there's the train. You're going to have 8 times slow motion, digital zoom. You're going to have a front touch screen module. And there's a note here that the front-facing OLED touchscreen and 4-mic matrix stereo let you compose video, capture crisp audio as you narrate your adventure. And when connected, the Action 2 battery life is increased to a maximum of 160 minutes when filming. Now, from everything I can tell, this front touchscreen is going to be a separate mod that you add on, kind of depending on how, again, it's a modular setup. So depending on what products or what mods you buy for this camera, you're going to set it up differently. So some of you may buy this separate touchscreen, and I'll put the pictures up here for you to see. And some of us may not, again, depending on what you're using the camera for. You're going to have intelligent audio, 4-mic matrix stereo, audio zoom, directional audio. Audio on action cameras remains to be seen. They're never as good as, a lot of other non-action, let's say non-action cameras. They're decent, but they're, we'll see how the audio sounds compared to the GoPro 10. A power module, when connected, the Action 2 gains a micro SD card slot and can fill up to 180 minutes. It's even hot swappable, so you keep filming without missing a beat. I don't know that I'm going to be using this as a hot swappable camera. 180 minutes, again, because I'm going to be using it for FPV footage. After a few minutes, I'm probably going to stop the recording, check the footage, and then restart it. So I don't know that I'll specifically have a need to use a hot swappable feature, but depending on your needs and depending on what sport you're doing using the action camera for, you may have a need for that. So again, I'm going to list all the specifications on the screen. You can stop this and go through them in more detail. I'm also going to, like I said, post a side-by-side comparison. Everything in red would be considered either unknown or a lesser feature or not as good as what's listed as in something in blue. So again, really going through this really quick. The price appears to be unknown. We're going to say it's going to be roughly around $510 US, and that appears to be for the dual screen combo or bundle double. And in euro, I think it's going to be closer to 439 euro. But again, don't quote me on the prices. They're going to vary from country to country, from everything we're seeing, and from package to package. The power combo is going to be a different price point than the dual screen combo. The GoPro again was listed at $399, or is currently listed at $399. But I think I actually paid a little more than that when I first bought my GoPro a month ago. So it remains to be seen if the price on the GoPro 10 does come down a little further. Processors I don't know what's on the Action 2 camera. We know the new GP2 processor was on the GoPro 10 Black. The dimensions, that's the biggest one of all here. The dimensions on this Action 2 camera is significantly, probably a third smaller than the, what the actual dimensions are. And I'll put some pictures up here if I haven't already. You'll see, the significant size difference. And that's really, I think, what's going to make or break whether people buy this, is if they need that smaller size. So significant difference in the dimensions. The DJI Action camera is significantly smaller and significantly lighter at 56 grams versus 153 grams for the GoPro 10. Again, we mentioned the field of view. It's going to be better with this Action 2 camera unless you get the mod on the GoPro 10. The Max Lens mod will get something similar, but otherwise you're going to get 132 degree field of view. Max video resolution, again, the GoPro 10 wins out at 5K 60 frame per second, but I'll be honest, 4K 120 and 4K at a bunch of other video resolutions is going to be just fine for probably 99.9% of us. So unless you're blowing this stuff up and putting on some high def screen somewhere, I know most of my viewers and most of the people probably watching a lot of the clips taken are going to be looking at on their cell phones or tablets. So I don't know that that's a huge difference for a lot of folks. The sensor, you're talking about a 1 1/7 inch sensor versus a 1 2/3 sensor. So again, the DJI Action 2 camera wins out over the GoPro 10 with a bigger sensor. Another important factor. We don't know if the picture quality is actually going to be better or not, but we suspect it should be based on the bigger sensor. Again, stabilization, you've got the HyperSmooth 4 on the GoPro versus the Rocksteady 2.0, which is new. We don't know what that stabilization is going to look like. So again, probably going to wait till some video comes out and we can compare the two. Both are going to have horizon leveling. Both will have touch screens depending on the mods that you buy. If you buy the touch screen separately, waterproofing, it's a wash. You got 10 meters for both cameras. That's without any casing. And again, we're most likely going to have some accessories and add-ons for the Action 2. We have a ton of them on the GoPro 10 already. And again, your battery life, you're going to have 180 minutes max on the DJI Action 2 camera. You got about 90 to 120 minutes on the GoPro 10. So again, the Action 2 wins out. In summary, am I going to recommend at this point, based on all the information that's out there, do you buy the Action 2 or do you buy the GoPro 10 Black like I have? I already have the 10 Black. So for me personally, I'm going to hold off and wait until I see some actual video reviews of the Action 2. I want to see what the stabilization's like. I want to see what the actual price point is. So it doesn't make sense for me to rush out and buy the new Action 2 camera. That being said, if you haven't already bought the GoPro 10 Black, sit tight for another week. Let's get some videos going and see what's out there, see how the stabilization looks, see how the pricing looks, and let's start looking at the footage and we'll be able to make a more educated decision. But that's the rundown. Hope you got some value out of this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, a like. I do appreciate it. It does help the channel. I got to jump on the bigger YouTubers this week. I got all the specs out there because I know this product isn't going to be released by DJI probably until the day before, again on the 27th. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video.